Hi, this is Chef Minetti, and I'm coming today to introduce a new recipe that I haven't done for a long time, but I'm doing this for my son who's in Moldova in the Peace Corps, and he's asked me to do this so he can do it when he's there. And what we're doing tonight is we're going to be doing a chicken Marsala. What I'm going to do is I'm going to walk through the ingredients you need to have to start this recipe. It's a very simple recipe. By prepping it like I already had done, it makes it much easier. There's a lot of things you can do ahead of time, like you can cook this chicken a day ahead of time and have it ready for the saute the next day, and that works perfectly fine. In the restaurant business, that's kind of how we do it anyway. We always prep it the day before, and then we put it in the refrigerator, and we're able to use it the next day. So anyway, we'll start out with what we need. And what I have here is, this is boneless, skinless chicken. And what I like to do is, personally, I think that the thighs have a lot more flavor. Traditionally, a lot more people use the breast meat. And as you can see, I have about 2 pounds of chicken here. You know, give or take a pound or so, or not a pound, an ounce or two is right about here. Then over here I have, for after I slice this up, which I'm going to do a little bit later, I have the mixed salt and pepper with my flour. It's about a cup, and I'm going to probably be dredging that into this, and that will be going into a frying pan with some oil and butter. Over here, this is just your store-bought, ready-cut mushrooms. It's 8 ounces, like in the store, it's 8 ounces. And over here we have, this is with one of the wet ingredients, and I prefer using this. You can get probably in, I'm going to say restaurant supply store, but it's a semi-made sauce. Basically, it's a demi-glace. That you pre-mix with water, and it's a lot more richer than the traditional chicken bouillon, which you can use, but if you can get away with finding this is what I prefer to use. The other things that do work, you can use brown gravy mix, which is really easy to find in the store, or you can get your beef base, which you can find in any of your grocery stores too. But the most important part of this is that you have 2 cups of liquid. No matter how you mix these, you always want to have at least 2 cups of liquid. Now I've already have this already pre-done, and that's what was in this can right here. Okay, so there's my 2 cups of that liquid. Now over to this area, I have the green onions. And basically, depending on the size of it, if they're smaller, you're going to use a couple more. But I have 4 here, and this is what 4 looks like cut up. And I do it on a diagonal, and you can see the size of the pieces. And I have that ready to go. So there's 4 onions right there. Obviously, the main ingredient to this, which to make a chicken Marsala, is Marsala wine, and it's 1 cup of that. I happen to prefer the dry one. You can use the sweet one. It makes, like I said, a little bit sweeter depending on what your preference is. I think traditionally the dry one actually works a little bit better. It's a little bit more elegant that way. And then you've got your olive oil and your butter, and that's what I'm going to be sauteing the chicken in, which is over here in about a minute, and I will show that to you. Yeah, so now here we are. I'm going to start prepping the chicken for the saute, and basically what we're going to do is just be browning this chicken up a little bit, but I need to get it ready for it. So this is just your typical chicken thigh that's already been boned and skinned, and you'll see there's a little bit of fat on here, so I'll just take this and I'm just going to remove some of this. Take that off. There's a little bit more right here. I'm just going to remove this whole piece. Okay, and now I've got a thigh. Now, this is way too big of a piece for anybody to have on their plate. So what I'm going to do is sort of on diagonal, is I'm going to grab this and I'm going to, on an angle, slice into it this way. So I'm going to make it sort of a medallion with that, as you can see. And I have another one here. And those lay out, there's no bone in there, that lays out real well. Then what you're going to want to do is grab some flour, push it into here. Get it nice and saturated, because what the flour is going to do is when you put it in the sauce, when we add all the rest of the ingredients, it's going to become a thickening agent. So it's going to bring everything together. So you really want to have that well incorporated, and shake off the excess. Always, in anything you do that, you'll shake off the excess. Same thing, this other piece that goes into like this, same thing. Okay, and then that is how you do the thighs, and you'll get those ready. Now I'm just going to do a breast real quick to show people. So the breasts obviously are a lot bigger. There's one piece on here, it's called the fillet, and that's this piece that's hanging in here. So it's always, you can tell it's a little bit softer. It's almost like it wants to be detached. And what I do is I detach that. So I come in here, I take that off. Actually, it's one of the best parts of the breast. Take that, and the same thing, you've got this fat, so you want to get rid of that, obviously. And same thing with this. I'm going to take this, take that, and get rid of that. And I know you're probably thinking, There's a garbage can over here, by the way. And this has got a little bit too much fat that I don't like, so I'll just take that, remove it. And then we have this piece. Same thing, get the flour worked in. And back over here. Now you've got this huge piece of breast meat. Now, there's a lot of people will just do is just chop it up. What I like to do is I look at it and think, well, that's pretty thick. And so what I'll just do is I can get a couple pieces of it. So what I'll do is I'll kind of lay it flat and work myself across it. And I come up with a medallion that looks like this. Same thing. Work it into the flour. And there you go. Now you've got this nice flatter piece. It's all about the same. Now, at this point, now you can just slice it into medallions. You want to try to get them all about the same. Okay? Pretty simple. Same thing. Push your flour in. Well, people don't do this, but it's real important. And shake off the excess. Okay? Now you've got another piece. How are we going to work that? I look at this. This is the smaller end. It goes towards the outside. I want to get it about equal, so I look at that, and it's right about here. But look, I'm cutting on a bias. See that? And I'm making a nice medallion. So I got a nice piece there. They're about the same. I'll give or take. And same thing. Rub it in. And like I told you, this already has the salt and the pepper mixed into the flour. And so this is an all-purpose flour. You could use bread flour. Who cares? There you go. Did you hear that? So anyway, that's how you get that. And I'll finish this off, and then we'll go ahead and do the... So here I've got all my chicken prep. You can see this is about 2 pounds of chicken. This is what it should be, almost a sheet pan, quarter sheet pan. And you can see right now that that's basically filled that sheet up. So they're all about the same size. There's a few smaller pieces in here, but they're all about the same size. And this will feed a family of 4, no problem. Okay, so now we're going to come over to the stove. And I already got this kind of warming up here for time reasons. And this is about 2 tablespoons of just regular olive oil, not extra virgin. And at this point, I'm going to add the butter. Okay? The butter gives it a little bit more of a dimension, more flavor into the sauce. The oil is really just to bring up the heat point on this, so I get a nice, well, it's a kind of a golden brown. It's actually a dark brown. You're not really cooking the chicken. All you're doing is really searing it, so you're locking in all the natural flavors of the chicken. And so you're going to do, now the most important thing is you do not want to overcrowd your pan. You don't want to steam your chicken. Okay, I'm going to bring my temperature up a little bit now. Right, I'm going to watch these bubbles, and just when I start to see these bubbles start to subside, I know it's ready to add my chicken. It's not quite there yet. You watch these bubbles. These are sort of, I'll tell you what to do here. And you can almost tell it's just about there. It'll start to change a little different color too. It'll get a little bit brown, which is nice because it gets a little nutty flavor to it, which is a nice little touch to this. And it's just starting to get there. Right about now. Okay, and I can almost feel the heat too. Alright, so that's what I'll do is I'll start laying these things in there. And like I said, I don't want them touching. You hear that? See the little bubbles that are coming around? That means that temperature is perfect for this. Now you're probably asking yourself about me having dark meat and light meat here. Well, the way these are cut, you can see they're pretty even. It's really not going to make much of a difference because there's what's called the carryover heat. When I take these out, it's continue to cook, and then I'm going to put them back in the sauce and cook them again. So don't even worry about the dark and the white. It's all going to work out just fine. And you can see I've got these in here. This is a good time to kind of push down a little bit. You can feel it. Yeah, that's perfect. Like that. Keep them separate. And let that brown. It's about, depending on your stove and your heat range and the pan you're using, somewhere between 2 and 3 minutes aside. And I'm just going to brown these up. The little clippies here. Kind of take a peek at it. See, oh, that's perfect. It's coming out really well. This is a real simple dish. Excellent dish. What's important though, you want to make sure that you get that. See that? See, look at that. How long has it been here? Not even a minute. You can see that's starting to get that little golden color to it right there. Wow. If you could just smell this, you could actually smell it. You can see the pepper and the salt that's already on there. Look at this one, that one's perfect. That's about the color you're looking for, right there. That's what you want. You don't want to overcook this. You're not cooking it, you're just searing it, you're just getting it sealed so that when you put it in the sauce, it's all going to come together. Look at that, perfect. There we go. And you can see how quick that is. You can do this ahead of time. You can have all these cooked out, let it cool, and put them in a Ziploc bag, put it in the refrigerator, and you can cook this meal tomorrow. So if you're cooking a dinner party, all you have to do is put the sauce together. Look at that one, that one's perfect. This is the dark meat over here. You can see how that one came out. That's nice. Now I like to do at this stage, when I said, I like to hit it with just a little bit more pepper at this part. So I know all my pieces got a little bit of pepper on. I love pepper. There you go, boom. I can tell my pan's getting a little bit hot, so I'm going to turn it down now. So it's starting to smoke. So I'm going to turn it back. Take it off the heat. Don't be afraid to take it off the heat. Pull it back. There you go. You can hear that. You check these out. Oh yeah, look at that. Perfect. Perfect. Oh yeah. So we got myself a plate ready here. And I'm watching the clock, and if we've been here for more than 2.5 minutes, I'd be totally surprised. Look at that, those are perfect. There we go, look at that. Perfect. You take those off. And like I said, these are still cooking. There's still heat coming on with these babies right here. Put them out there. Perfect. Okay. And this one's a little bit longer than this one. And there we go. And there you have it. And I'm going to cook the rest, and I'll be right back.